guys, and welcome to Money Talks News, the podcast. We're the only podcast that makes you richer one day at a time. I'm your host, Stacy Johnson. With me is producer, friend, and colleague, Aaron Freeman. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Stacy. It's been a long ride, right?
It's been how long have we worked together?
Since 2012.
No way.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like 7 years.
Nope.
12 years?
Way longer. No,
I'm
feels like
tired
forever.
of you, man. I'm just tired of you.
I know. It's time to just end it.
And we hang out together on the weekends, too.
Yeah. See you this weekend.
Yep. Actually, you are going to see me this weekend. Anyway, these people don't care about that.
No,
Let's talk about something they do care about, which is how President-elect Trump is going to affect your retirement. Now, we've each done our own research on this, so we haven't rehearsed this or anything. But let me start off here and tell me what you think, Aaron. I found 4 categories that we can discuss.
All right.
Social Security, the ACA, inflation, and interest rates. Does that coincide with what you found in your research?
Yes. And some taxes in there.
Okay. Yeah. And I don't have that. So you can talk to me about taxes. But let's talk about the thing that most seniors are concerned with. Myself, I'm really not, although I am a senior, but Social Security.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of already in that ballpark. So does it really affect you that much?
Oh, no, I don't think they can do anything to me. I'm 69 years old, for those of you who don't know. So, I mean, I'm going to be taking Social Security when I turn 70 because that you have no choice, basically. I mean, you're wasting money if you don't. So I'm going to be taking it this year. But I don't think anything that they could do to Social Security would affect those of us who are this close to getting it. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah. Because, I mean, your age group, I don't know if they're freaking out or not, but I mean, I think it's relatively safe for your age group and up. And for my age group, I mean, I'm worried, and we're sitting here going, "Well, is it going to be there for us? But, you know, are these decisions that they're making going to mess everything up?"
You're in a worry place. How old are you?
I think, yeah, we're Generation X. I'm 50, so I think we're in that very nail-biting arena.
Yeah, I would think so. And you know, Kim, who also podcasts with me and works with us, he's in his 30s, I think. So you know, I'd be really worried then.
Yeah,
But again, I told Kim last time we did a podcast together, I know that things are really difficult for you, and I know that it's scary for you, Aaron, but I want you to take comfort in the fact that it isn't scary for me. that I'm going to be fine.
That gives me solace. I'm so happy it's going to be fine for you.
So now, let's talk about how Trump could affect Social Security. Now, he said, I've got a quote in front of me. Oh, this is the GOP platform. The party will fight for and protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, including no changes to the retirement age.
Yes, so I've read that too.
Okay. So one thing to get out of the way, because, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there where people are saying, oh, he's going to cut Social Security.
Right, and that's directly from the RNC platform.
Yes.
Yeah, I got everything there where they're saying they're going to protect it. Nothing's going to change. They're going to strengthen Medicare. They're going to, support everything. And yet their policies seem to oppose that. And we're not quite sure how they're going to do that.
Why do you say that? Why do you say oppose that?
Okay, well, let's look at Social Security as a whole. I mean, now we know that Social Security, okay, so from like 1983 up through 2021, right? Social Security was in a surplus. I mean, this is from the Reagan era. You know, I always feel like, when they say make America great, during that Reagan era, this is kind of somewhat what they mean. Like certain policies he put in place, great surplus, all the seniors were happy. Now, since 2021, we've kind of borrowed against that quite a bit, Now, a lot of people think that this bipartisan borrowing or spending, which is not really truly spending, is going to completely liquidate Social Security. But that's not true. I mean, Social Security is always replenished by interest rates that the government pays into the system. So,
something's going to happen by 2034, right? Benefits will have to be reduced, and this has nothing to do with Trump. That was going to happen anyway.
It's going to happen anyway. Yeah, and people worry about its insolvency.
It won't be zero. They would reduce it by 20% or something like that, right?
Right. And a lot of this problem is basically because since 2021, both sides have had a really hard time trying to figure out how to fix this situation, right? And Trump's policies he's going to, and I think one of the biggest things that I think they're really pushing towards is cutting, like they always say, like Elon Musk and his whole party and all this stuff are cutting spending, right? If they cut spending and government spending, this is going to help everything out, right? And they're also going to reduce taxes for seniors. Like, so if you get rid of taxes on Social Security, the idea here is that they're going to kind of privatize how you spend your Social Security, right? So it's, let's say,
Well, they're saying that they're going to stop charging tax on Social Security, because right now, you know what the rule is right now. If you make if you're $34,000 of income as a single, or 44,000 as a couple, that's taxable income. Then you're up to 85% of your benefits could be taxable,
right,
for income tax.
right.
Now, and he says he's going to eliminate that,
right, which only affects about 40% of Social Security taxpayers.
But I was thinking, so that would just mean less overall tax revenue coming in. But what I read instead was that those taxes, it's not just regular income tax. Those taxes actually go to help support Social Security.
Correct.
The income tax on Social Security goes to help support Social Security.
Correct. He also wants to get rid of other taxes. He wants to decrease taxes and everything because he wants to continue his 2017, jobs cut taxes. He wants to make that even better. And he wants to eliminate taxes on tips. And he wants to get rid of immigrants, which are also paying into the tax pool. All of this money pays into this pool. But what they want to do is they want to get rid of government spending with the idea, like, for example, in episode 53, we interviewed we interviewed the CMS.gov people. They control the Center for Medicare and Medicaid. This is a free thing that the government pays for. So anybody who's a senior citizen can call these people and get help on how to handle Medicaid, how to sign up for it, how to deal with it. What is it? What's it all about? It's complicated.
Medicare.
Yeah, Medicare. But he wants to call it. He wants to cut these kind of programs out, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's some of the fat he wants to trim.
Some of the fat. So with the idea that if I cut taxes on your Social Security, that kind of stuff would be privatized. And then you get to choose how you spend your money. So instead of having our tax dollars pay for all of these things, the money goes back to you. So this is the yin and yang that's being played, and we don't know how that will all play out.
Yeah.
These are all ideas.
Here's a quote that I got today, too. Trump's agenda overall, including, these are things you mentioned, ending taxes on tips and overtime, hiking tariffs, and deporting undocumented immigrants would add approximately $2.3 trillion to Social Security's deficit and cause the program to become insolvent by fiscal year 2031, which is pretty soon. Now, remember, though, it was already expected to become insolvent by 2034.
Right.
And again, by insolvent, we don't mean it goes to nothing. We mean that something would have to radically change, either reduce benefits or increase taxes or increase Social Security taxes. But so a lot of the stuff that he's talking about doing, and he's saying, I'm going to offset that with all this money I'm getting from tariffs,
right,
and by slicing government waste.
Right.
And so, the proof is in the pudding, right?
Right. The idea is, you put more money in the public has more money to spend. This brings up everything else. Okay.
So now, let's go, because we've already been 8 minutes into this, and it's only a 10 or 12-minute podcast. Let's talk about the ACA, the Affordable Care Act. I'm not seeing a whole bunch of changes there, but I think there could be some coming down the road. Have you read anything about that?
No, I haven't read anything about, they talk about it, but I haven't found anything specific of what they're going to do about it.
I have heard people talk on the campaign trail, and actually part of that Project 2025, it's quite possible, and this is true for Medicaid too, they may move, some people may not qualify for Medicaid. I'll just make it shorter. And when it comes to the Affordable Care Act, he wanted to he said he saved it when he was running for president. He actually literally tried to get rid of it. And it's a very, very popular program. And how it applies to retirees is, if you start taking Social Security at 62, you don't get Medicare until 65. And so the Affordable Care Act will become really important. And if the mandate goes away that forces insurance companies to cover you even if you have a pre-existing condition, if that goes away, Katie bar the door. That's going to be really difficult.
Yes.
I'm not saying it is going to go away, but it is something that has been discussed.
Right. And it is a bridge for a lot of people. When they stop working, it's like a little bridge, to get to Medicare.
Exactly. So that's about the only thing specific, and that's not very specific, but that's about the only thing specific. Now, you mentioned at the outset extending the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. How does that hurt retirees or help retirees? Do you have an opinion on that? Because I really don't.
There's no guarantee that would boost the economy or anything. The only thing that people say is that it could drive stock gains, and in turn, that gives you a boost in your 401k retirement fund, that you put together. And honestly, reading through all this stuff that to prepare for this show, overall, I feel like there's this massive movement, bipartisan too, to get people used to the idea of building your own 401k and not relying on Social Security. And over time,
people
and generation after generation to just, let's just slowly get rid of that.
Yeah. Well, Aaron, I don't know if you'll remember this, but retirement used to be a three-legged stool. It was the retirement you got from your employer, your pension plan, Social Security, and your personal savings. Now,
right.
One of those is basically in the dustbin of history. Very few people are getting retirement plans from their employer anymore.
Right.
Or
Yeah,
getting
pensions are gone.
So one stool's already gone, or one leg of the stool is already gone. And if Social Security becomes less and less important, then that stool is gone too. I want to make sure you understand, though, folks, that I'm not saying Social Security is going away. In fact, I'm 99% sure it's not. There's lots of strings you can pull to help Social Security. Like, you can not give it to people who are rich. You can increase the amount of salary that Social Security is being taken out on. You can. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do. Raise the age. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do. But let's talk about one final thing, and I know we're almost out of time, but it's really important. Maybe the important thing that got Trump elected: inflation. Is his policies, are they going to make inflation worse? Or are they going to make it better?
Man, that's yet to be revealed. We don't, like you just had a podcast with Kim. I mean, it's yet to be revealed as to how much he's going to get through Congress. We don't know.
Yeah, there is no question. Well, at least not in my mind. I guess there's a question on everything, but in my mind, if you put 60% tariffs on China and you put 20% tariffs on every other country in the world, you will have higher prices in the United States. Period.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the purpose of tariffs is to protect American or domestic manufacturers and even encourage domestic manufacturing, right? I mean, if you start putting a 20% tariff on cars from Japan, then they're going to build factories in Tennessee, and that's the purpose of tariffs. But that takes time. So I think tariffs could raise prices, and that is not good for seniors.
Right.
But again, as I said in my podcast with Kim, threatening a tariff and creating a tariff are two different things. He may just be threatening 60% tariffs on China to get more favorable treatment for American companies.
Right.
And if that's true, that's great. But if he actually slaps on a tariff like that,
right,
I think it's going to be very inflationary.
Now, there is one more thing that he talked about, and it's kind of an important thing. You see it trickled around through the RNC and everything, and I don't know why they're putting importance on it, because I couldn't find out why. I don't know if maybe you know this, you can answer this, but he's putting an importance on home care. And
yes,
the only reason why I could think of this is maybe he's trying to privatize something and thinking that this is somehow going to alleviate other kinds of costs. But what is it exactly? I don't understand it.
Well, I mean, that home care is limited by Medicare, right? I mean, nursing home care you don't even get.
Right.
So, and especially if you're in a Medicare Advantage plan like I am, home care may not be part of that service. Depends on which one it is, but he and to his credit, he wants to have insurance pay for people's home care, and that also lowers costs for hospitals too and nursing homes. Right. So, I mean, and I think that's a good thing. How you pay for it, I don't know the answer to that.
Right, and it's just basically for long-term care, and he's got provisions there that he wants to help out the caregivers themselves. He wants to put in a reprieve system in there so that they're not, constantly there 24/7 without any breaks.
Yeah. And another thing too, before we leave, interest rates are really important to retirees. In fact, I was saying to Kim on the podcast you referred to, higher interest rates suck for you when you're trying to buy a house and you're trying to finance a car, but they're awesome for me. My house is paid for, my car's paid for, and I get in my retirement money is in treasury bonds and bank accounts. So higher interest rates are great for me. And higher interest rates are good for lots of retirees because a lot of them are in the position I'm in. Right. But higher interest rates also can stymie the economy, cause the deficit to swell, blah, blah, blah. They're not really good for the economy, and also hurt stocks for that matter too. But interest rates could also be part of this whole tariff thing and the ballooning deficit. I mean, when you're lowering taxes and you ain't bringing in additional revenue, and his gamble is Musk is going to slash government spending and these tariffs are going to bring a flood of money into the United States to offset the lack of income tax. I personally don't see that happening, but it is possible.
Right. I mean, that's the summary that I've had. I figure the way this thinking seems to be is if I reduce government spending, I make all these cuts, I put a pile of money back into people, I deregulate everything so that everything kind of becomes a privatized system. It creates competition, it creates more spending, which is going to somehow create tax dollars in a different way, and levels all the playing field. I mean, that's the kind of gist that I'm getting from these policies. I don't know what you think.
I agree with you. I think you're right.
Yeah.
And whether it works or not, we will see.
Right. So wait and see. Right. All right, man.
I guess we're out of time. Are we out of time?
I think we're
Mr.
at the
Producer?
show. Yeah, I think we're it.
Okay. In that case, folks, we really appreciate you giving us a part of your day. And I hope you learned something that's going to make you a little richer. In the meantime, why don't you follow me everywhere? Well, not everywhere. Not when I go to the grocery store or something, but follow me on Facebook.
No,
follow Money Talks News on Facebook, not me personally. Follow us on YouTube, which you're watching it right now, presumably. We have an Instagram account. What else do we have? Every single thing, right?
Yeah, the main point, we're going to point you guys to YouTube. I mean, this entire video podcast is on YouTube. Kim, why don't you pop in here and help us out? Because I mean, we're on Facebook. We have what? We have a retirement group. We have a retirement group on Facebook. That's amazing. There's a nice group of people in there that love talking to each other and helping each other out through what they're thinking, how they're doing. Some people are living in different countries and all kinds of things. We didn't touch on that, but that's another issue in this whole thing, is about people living overseas and stuff with his changes. But that's a whole nother topic.
Little senior moment for me. We're doing a podcast on retirement, and I forget to remind people we have a retirement group.
Yeah, there you go.
We've got about 4,000 people in it, so come and join us. And I'm on there all the time, answering questions, talking to people. So definitely join that. And you can get the Money Talks newsletter. And let us not spend more time promoting our website than we spent actually doing the podcast. But the bottom line is, folks, look for us, find us, follow us.
Yes,
and we'll
share us with your friends.
You'll appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, guys, hope you have a great rest of your day. And we're going to see you right here next time. Later.